Hey, what's up, RedEye? I'm Josh Peck from the new movie Red Dawn, which comes out November 21st. See it, because it'll mean a lot to me.
So you were telling me about training to be a quarterback.
Right, no, I started, we went to football training camp, and it was so many, this movie especially was like boyhood fantasy after boyhood fantasy come true, between military training and being with Navy SEALs and Marines. But I thank God I had this brilliant double who was an arena football player.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because if at all I come across cool, it's because of him. Because left to my own devices, I think there was even a play where I forgot to line up behind the center. Like I lined up behind like some outside lineman, and my center was this 340-pound black man, and the lineman I got behind was like 220-pound white guy. So I'm like, they're kind of like, there might be a clear distinction in who you should be, getting the ball from.
So when people see the movie in that football scene, is that kind of half and half, you and your double?
Absolutely. I mean, listen, I found it even in those sort of, in the respect of something that's kind of really out of your comfort zone, it's so much in that people that are the best seem to be quite at ease, or at least that's what they project, is being super comfortable and ready for anything. And watching quarterbacks on TV and looking at some of the greats, I've found that they have this ease about them, because literally they're the guys when time is ticking down that it kind of falls on their shoulders. So I don't think they can be bugging out at the last moment. So
yeah.
I tried to get some of that swagger, and I don't know if I accomplished it, but it felt good in the moment.
Did you try to model yourself after any particular quarterback?
No quarterback in particular, because I don't know. Are there any Jew quarterbacks?
I wish.
I know, right? Is there like the Sandy Koufax in the NFL?
I know, seriously. Thought about that sometimes. Same with basketball. We don't really have much representation, do we?
I guess we don't, huh? There was like a couple guys in the NHL.
And baseball primarily.
Baseball,
yeah.
for sure. We got a couple homeboys out there. You never know. They might recruit some kid from Haifa or something. Come in there and play.
Anything is possible.
Definitely.
Nice. Well, I know you wound up with a scar from this movie, some stitches. Tell me, what were those incidents like, and what was going through your head at the time?
Well, I got 2 stitches here because there was a scene where I'm running to go save my girlfriend in the movie, and the gun that I'm holding caught on the end of a seat and wound up knocking me in the head, and there's blood coming down, and I was like, let's go again. And they're like, why don't you try the hospital first? So now I'm in the Detroit Trauma Center, and the doctor looks at me and says, what happened? And I said, for real, doc? And he was like, yeah. And I said, I was running down the school bus with an AK-47 and it hit me in the head. And he was like, oh, 3rd one today. And then he was like, so are you an extra or something? And I'm like, let me assure you I'm a pretty big deal, bro. No, I was just like...
As the ego slowly deflates.
Absolutely. I was like, should we get a plastic surgeon? He's like, for what? He's like, that face? No, so he sewed me up real quick, and I was right back out there. And then I got one, you can't really see it, but it looks kind of like a cigar burn or something, but I put my arm through a board. So I'll have that one for life while shooting. So I got a couple,
Nice to carry it with you.
Why not?
Had you ever had any scars or physical injuries on the job before like this?
Not on the job, just in the job of a life. Rolling in my real life, I'm pretty clumsy.
What's the worst thing that had happened to you like that before?
In life or just in work?
Yeah, not on the job.
I mean, I've broken like 5 bones. I broke this arm twice, this arm once, my right leg twice, stitches here, stitches in my legs. Like, I'm not the most graceful of all people, but I got a couple good stories.
What was it like? It seems like Chris Hemsworth was really asked to step up and actually be the leader when you were going through some of that military training.
Right.
What was that like, watching him kind of transform into a guy who was seeming like a Marine?
He's kind of a natural leader in that respect. I mean, he was 26 when we were shooting the film, and so he and Annie were the oldest people in the cast, and then there was like Isabel and I that were 23, and then like Josh Hutcherson and Connor that were 14 and 16. So in that respect, much like the characters in the movie, they were sort of the maternal and I guess like the patriarch aspect of the film, and so they ushered us through a lot of things and took care of us in many ways, and especially with Chris, like he would laugh with me and another actor in the film, this kid Julian who played Brett, and we were kind of the young kids, always giving him a hard time. He'd be like, "Boy, come here, my little cubs." He'd like call us his little cubs, and he'd be like, or we'd be sitting at the lunch table in the middle of the day, he'd be like, "Boy, little cubs, hungry." And so that's like my awful Australian accent, but
oh, that was an accent? Okay.
Yeah, I don't even know what just happened. I'm not proud of it. But if I throw oi before it, I feel like I got something going on. A little touch of the outback.
Okay, that's good.
Cheers.
Does anyone ever accidentally call him Dad?
Me. I have him under Dad in my cell phone. Daddy, actually. But he's an awesome dude. He just there's just sort of a natural way about him that's really endearing, and we became really good friends.
Well, how do you think you would react? This is such an extreme situation, America being invaded and people just kind of having to say, okay, I'm either going to run or I'm going to fight. How do you think you would react in a high-pressure situation like that?
I'd be dead. I'm pretty sure. I don't know if I'm exactly in the position to help protect anything. No, I mean, I hope that they would be able to use me in some sort of USO fashion, like entertaining the troops, like distracting them as they're fighting and whatnot. Because I think in pretty much every respect, that's what I would be best at.
You're like, the war just started, Josh. Stop trying to say you want to do stand-up, okay?
Exactly.
They're in the middle of fighting.
I'd be like, listen, they need some sort of entertainment while they're having their, midday lunch.
Attention, if we could just cease fire.
Yeah, is this thing on? What's going on? How about that mustard gas, huh? How come mustard is it's the condiment monopoly on warfare?
How much do you think Twitter would play into something like this if it was really happening?
Oh, it would be like the way in which everyone, it would be the number one communication sort of tool, I would assume, right? I mean, hashtag holy shit. Hashtag, oh my God, we're at war. Hashtag, I'm so fucking scared right now. Like, it would be intense.
It would be trending for years.
For years, it would never stop. And then, I follow random stuff like Unusual Facts and Aziz Ansari's Twitter feed. So I don't know how much up-to-date information I would get with the invasion. I'd probably be getting Breaking Bad insight from Aziz Ansari, but.
And people would know when you were performing, and that would be helpful.
That would help, absolutely. I had Instagram selfies of myself being
What are there any other '80s movies that you hope get remade?
I mean, I think they might be remaking Taps, which would be, that was a pretty big movie in my upbringing,
Oh yeah.
But I'm already into the '90s, bro. I hope they remake Mighty Ducks. Because I'd be all over that. Or Heavyweights. Oh, God.
You want that to happen?
What, a remake of Mighty Ducks?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Listen, that movie's on sacred ground for me. But if there would be any chance for Joshua Jackson to bless me with the role of Charlie Conway, I'd be in a big way.
You think you could still play a high school kid?
I'll figure it out. We'll update it. We'll make it college. We'll make it, the community college Mighty Ducks.
Well, there was D3 where they were in. Oh, that was still high school, I guess.
That was like boarding school, bro.
That movie makes absolutely no sense.
Oh, I love it.
The third one too?
Oh, they're all good.
The third one, they spend all their time competing against their own school.
Against varsity. They're tough. Oh man.
You clearly know that series pretty well.
I really do. And then Julie the Cat takes over for Goldberg in that. It's good times.
Which is your favorite of those?
There's number 2 is the best one. And, the line where they finally win in the end against what team? Iceland?
Iceland, yeah.
Iceland. And then the line where Coach says to Gunnar Saw, "You lost it for me, Gunnar." And Gunnar looks at him and goes, "You lost it for yourself." I don't know. Is it Scottish? I'm bad at impressions.
I don't know how to do an Icelandic accent.
Come on, we'll get on that as quickly as possible.
I thought you were going to do good work, Captain Duck, or whatever. I think
that's a great one too.
So do you feel like now that Red Dawn is coming out, is this a weight off your shoulders, pushed forward in your career? How do you feel now that this is finally happening?
It's kind of great to have closure on something that you've thought about over years. And, inevitably, as working actors, you're kind of only as good as your last job. So it's like sales in that respect. So you want stuff to come out that you're proud of so that you can go on and keep working and find the next thing. So I'm excited for a number of reasons, for everyone involved, and that, to have a little closure on this. I think it's a perfect weekend to come out, and sort of there was this weird sort of, it was kind of divinely perfect with the timing, because, Chris hadn't had Thor come out yet when we shot the film, and Josh hadn't done Hunger Games, and now that their star power can hopefully, help the movie be more visible, only helps everyone involved, so it's kind of great. And then I get to ask, Josh about Liam and Jennifer Lawrence all day.
Do you feel any sense of mild, instinctive competitiveness about the fact that, a few years on from filming this, they've had those successes and you wanting to have that kind of franchise to latch onto?
I don't know. I mean, that's never been a huge goal of mine. I mean, it would be an amazing thing to be a part of if it turned out that way, but it's never been the first thing that came to mind as far as what I wanted to, something I was really dying to do. And I think they were both perfect for exactly the movies that they did. So it's kind of cool that, we all became friends before that, and now I get to watch them and be, a fan of my friends. But doing movies like The Whackness before this and whatnot, and I would just love to do another really great character-driven piece, hopefully in New York. And whether I'm selling pot or not is up to the filmmaker.
We're just about out of time. I want to make sure I get to everything. You've been on screen for such a big part of your life. When you look back, what do you think of as something that was the most surreal aspect of kind of living part of your childhood and growing up into an adult in the public eye?
I think being on Drake and Josh, the TV show on Nickelodeon I did for so many years, and truly in the moment, I mean, I was from 14 to 19, which was your high school years in many ways, and so I didn't really understand the scope of that show when doing it, and how many, lives that show affected, and how many kids really grew up with it. And so now, years later, especially the fact that it's on in reruns, and seeing the way that families love that show, and the ability to make kids laugh has been kind of this gift. So I think now, with enough perspective and years removed, to see the effect that show had, and kind of knowing that I got to be a part of it, it's pretty cool. And I don't know if I realized that as much in the moment.
Does it almost feel like a different person when you look back and watch yourself?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I think that would be, I've had a bit of a transformation, but that would be natural for most people, just looking back at their high school years and going who was that person? And I'm sure at 35 I'll be like, who's that jerk eating, eggs Benedict with salmon during the interview? Who am I?